Welcome to the MTX podcast. My name is Nate Schilling, Chief Strategy Officer at MTX Group. I'm joined with my friend and esteemed colleague, Sahil Batra. Sahil?
Thank you, Nate. My name is Sahil and I work as Senior Director Learning and Development at MTX. So, Nate, right, today we'll talk about the buzzword AI, right? How we are making it real into our business, right? So, I think we heard about that word AI everywhere. And now it's not only the trend word, we have started using it at MTX and we have seen it, how we could put it into our day-to-day life, day-to-day work. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's interesting because I know myself and just being a consumer, first, adopting ChatGPT when it came out, it really does start to change your behavior, the way you think, the way that you can make more time and make more informed decisions through, that level of automation. So it's really natural that in the world of services, that we're able to use these same tools to not only make better decisions, better serve our clients, but do that in a much more efficient way. And so it's exciting to see all aspects of our delivery, from the way we manage projects to the way that we guide through functional design, and of course, in the technical implementation, that AI, generative AI specifically, is just pervasive now.
Yeah, true. I have seen not only delivery, but other teams also using it, marketing using it, HR using those tools, right? And it has become so easy to use those tools and we could bring best out of it. We do not require that much technical knowledge to use them, right? And that's the best part, right? Another thing comes to my mind, right? This AI boom which is coming in, right? So how it is being with MTX, right? So why, like, we are adopting the AI and with I would say infinity speed now, right?
Yes.
And so it's a market demand, or it's a growth plan, or it's a client demand, or it's like the buzzword AI is there, so that's why we are moving towards it. So how you think of it?
Well, it's a little bit of everything, right? We have certain clients that actually are expecting it. They want to make sure that we're serving them with the latest technology, the latest tools, the latest speed, the latest efficiency. But we're also, we're a business of mentoring and apprenticeship. That's what services are. It's a very human, very people-centric business. So the knowledge that we have as practitioners, and I've been doing this for 25 years, and as we think about the next group of associates becoming, senior professionals, AI is actually helping us codify knowledge and be able to share that and use that for any practitioner in our practice, whether they're a 1-year fresher or they have been here for 5. You no longer have to be, as seasoned, as wise over so many years of experience, because the expertise that we've been curating here for the last 10 years is now part of a corpus of knowledge we use as we're delivering projects to our clients.
Yeah, I think we have started using tools, and what comes to my mind, right? I would say like the 2 most important tools we are using. So there are thousands of tools in the market, but we have started using Cursor AI and Gemini. So I would ask you, right, why Gemini and Cursor AI only? Why not some other tools in the market?
Sure. Well, for us, we serve public sector clients in the U.S., and there's a rigor of compliance and privacy and security. And so in order to be able to enforce those kinds of things across our team and make sure that we can be compliant with our SOC 2 and our ISO 27001 mandates, that requires proper tools that have the level of rigor and audit and data residency in the U.S. So we go through a thorough audit. Turns out that our contractual relationship with Google has been very, very good over the last 10 years in supporting that. So Gemini is a perfect choice for that. But when we think about specialty tools, we're in the software development world, and we need something that has the tools to integrate with documents, with source control, with the actual APIs that deploy and retrieve source code and configuration on a platform like Salesforce. So we adopted and approved Cursor AI earlier this year because it allows us to do all those things, including embed those standards, those rules, from the MTX sort of war chest of all of our knowledge and our best practices. And that makes that tool very different when it comes to generative AI because we're able to integrate it into our software development lifecycle.
Right. Yeah, I think you are correct because data is something of most important asset in today's world. If we have our data secure, we are the king, right? That is what I could say, right? So, like I was just thinking more onto it, right? So, if I talk about right, what I could think that I think using these tools should be safe as well. Like we should talk about AI safety and it is being fairly used. I think that is the most important thing. And I think it's our responsibility to make sure that we are using it fairly, right? Because considering AI just like a tool which is giving you a code, making it like a copy paste machine, that will not help us for sure. So we have to add our, I would say, the human touch as well with the AI so that whatever decision it's making, it is, I would say, the perfect decisions which are coming up from AI. I think that is the most important thing there. So, if I talk about few other things where we have like these tools being used in multiple places by multiple roles and multiple teams. So what do you think as a strategy point of view, what all things should be taken care that those are being responsibly used and fairly used? So what are your thoughts on same?
Great point. And in our training, we emphasize this a great deal. One, AI is not taking jobs; it is augmenting jobs, and it's more important than ever to have that human in the loop review. Part of what I think makes our implementation of generative AI and our software development lifecycle processes unique or really important is that we define a process that's worked for hundreds of projects. We've codified that through our experts, and we continually improve that so that each step, let's say there's an 8-step journey to decompose some requirements, to have security and least permissions in mind, to think about best practices around using the best parts of our platforms, what should be configuration, what should be code. These are just examples. Each step is designed to have a human feedback loop. So it might create a plan, and it's going to ask that developer to review that plan for accuracy. Even though we have checks to align that with their MTX practices, it's more important than ever to put that level of trust and to use, our brains, if you will, for checking the work, not necessarily typing all the letters on the keyboard.
Right. Yeah, I think you said it correctly, right? So AI is more like our virtual teammate, which is helping us to increase our proficiency and basically helping us to increase our productivity. That is the most important thing which I could see the AI as, right? But yeah, human touch is again, as you said, it's the most important. Reviewing everything is the most important as well there. So I think we cannot fully believe on AI, but we could definitely use it, which could help us in better decision making, and that's the most important.
And I was just going to bounce the question back to you because you lead all of our learning and enablement. We partner together on so many things around this, but how, as you take an entry-level associate into our program and develop their skill sets, how do you see this generative AI world being built upon some foundation of core skills, and what does it do in terms of the the pathways for someone who's coming of age, if you will, as a consultant in this world of professional services?
Yeah, you're correct. I think the base foundation, which is of the core foundation, I would say, of the programming concept is something most important. And that is what we see in all of our associate consultant, which we are recruiting. That is the first and the most important thing, which we are always looking at. On above that, we like whatever trainings we are giving, we have started including AI in our trainings, right? So once their core foundational training is done, how exactly they can use AI. So as I said, right, AI cannot be the copy paste machine that you generate a code out of it, copy paste it, and your work is done. No. Thorough review is something most important. Understanding the approach, taking a help of AI for the decision making. I think we started going on that approach. We are, I would say, molded our training in such a way that it's like your core plus AI coming together, which help you to make the better decision making. And that's how we have started shaping our trainings up. where you have conducted few of the sessions recently with our functional consultant, with our developers, with our senior developer architect. So we'll include all those for our fresher program as well, and that is how we'll start giving the training to our newbies.
It makes sense. And, I was sort of thinking about my kids and their teachers, professors, and the challenges with, is it any different than when the calculator came out, right? And you still have to learn the foundations of math. So I know a key part of what you have in your curriculum and rubric is, do you understand the basics? So that, as I mentioned earlier, as we're doing a review of what it is that AI is generating or planning, can you use your experience, your knowledge to make sure that it's accurate? And that's a really important, part of our AI path here.
Yeah, that's great, right? So another thing comes to my mind, right? You coming from strategy office, and we've recently started working on the AI COE, where we make everyone AI champion. Apart from that, what all I would say initiatives you're taking from the strategy office just to make sure that we are ahead in this AI journey and we make everyone as an AI champion. So
yeah. Well, it's a cross-functional journey. So in our center of excellences that we have an overarching Gen AI COE. And what's so important, I think you've probably experienced this just in talking to people, whether it's, in your personal life, maybe someone using AI or telling you about some neat thing they use ChatGPT for. Everyone has like a different way they use it. There is not one way to do the work that we execute in this world of software development. So across those, centers of excellence, whether it's a functional, and we're talking about the team of business analysts, business architects, QA analysts, folks who really understand requirements and acceptance criteria. And the processes that we put together as a sort of first draft for our Gen AI initiative are going to be perpetually enhanced through the feedback of that team. So we actually built feedback loops into the prompts that we use. And prompts, for those of you, wondering what I'm saying there, they're instructions, they're recipes, they're best practices. And we know that as individual contributors are using these tools and they're delivering a work product to a client, and they need to adjust it because out of the box, it doesn't quite generate what that client needs, we're actually garnering this feedback loop so that the COE Gen AI curates enhancements. This is an ever-evolving thing so that the best ideas continue to become a part of the way we operate with Gen AI.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, right? So making everyone a prompt, like making expert on the prompt, how you write a best prompt, what it give you out of it. I think those are the most important thing which are there whenever you go with the AI, right? Because if you write a perfect prompt, you get the best output out of it, right? So AI sometimes can give you some, I would say, sloppy results as well, right?
AI slop.
If you don't give a perfect prompt, right? So prompt engineering is something what I could say the most important one. And I know you're working onto the prompt library as well, which could be a great initiative which you have taken from the strategy office. So now, as we are around the end of 2025 and the 2026 coming in, how you see our AI journey in 2026?
Well, every week, every 2 weeks maybe, there's more innovation that seems to come out. For instance, the ability for AI to control the browser, to do walkthrough of websites and applications and record everything it finds and help us in reverse engineering requirements, to testing and functionally checking that the work product of something we configure or develop it's changing everything. I think we will continue to be able to spend more time preparing very quality deliverables and guided experience for our clients. Our CEO talks a lot about, the metaphor of black and white TV versus color TV. Professional services consulting, it's just kind of black and white experience. But what we really strive to do, and I think where AI is helping that, is to say, we want to be the tour guides. That brings the color experience. It brings the breadth of options that when our clients invest in things like Salesforce.com and Microsoft, that we are helping them choose the best path to take advantage of that value, right? That create the most impact. And if we can do that more efficiently by presenting all those options in a very easy format, generative AI helps us create PowerPoints. It helps us create decision guides and discovery agendas. And so that we can get into a working prototype and demo much, much quicker. And I think that's one of the most amazing things going into next year, that we're going to be shifting left more and more of our milestones when we can, and be able to create more impact.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, right? So I'm looking forward to 2026 AI journey at MTX, right? So another thing, right? So if I talk about AI, you must have seen that we read a lot of news article. AI did this, AI did that. Again, depends on prompt you're giving it, right? Any funny incident you want to share with me that this happened when I was using AI?
I've had some funny, you can get into some very complex analysis. Think about 1,000-page SOW or something like that. And depending on how well you have set up your prompt, if you give it one line, that's what a lot of people do by default. They say, help me analyze this. Well, what does that mean? Well, our prompts, our recipes, if you will, have much more detail, sometimes 1,000 lines on what we think best practices are. But to your point, I've had some funny things where the AI came back and said, I'll be happy to be your rubber ducky. I have no idea where that came from, right? So there's things like that. I know, personally, it's been fun to try different things in my personal life with AI. I had once trying ChatGPT, and I wanted to inventory the pantry, understand which food's there, so that I could figure out what to tell my wife to go to the store and buy. And I was really, really impressed at how it actually recognized all of the cans on the shelf and all the boxes of food. But the funny story was how it misidentified a few things and thought I had something that was not even from the pantry. So that those are I think we know that there's always some risk, there's always some hallucination, so to speak, and that's why I think as we train and as we put guardrails in place, they're designed to give a very effective work product in a professional setting like this.
Yeah, I like what you were telling about these recipes and all. Another thing came to my mind, right? I had a picture on my Instagram where I was just having both of my hands in the pocket and standing somewhere. My friend tried to add an alien with me, right? And he was like, create an image in such a way that that alien is standing with me, right? He sent me an image. What AI did, it added the third hand, which was an alien, and two hands in pocket as well. And I was like, what you're doing? Like, I do not have three hands, right? Again, he
sounds like an obvious deep fake to me, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So he did a prompt engineering again and then sent me another picture with two hands, right? So looking at the person with three hands, I was laughing like anything. That what you have created out of AI. Yeah, I think those are like some funny incident, but yeah, I think we should look at it that if we are using AI, it's our responsibility to make sure that we are using it fairly, using the approved tools. That is, I think, the most important thing for us, and make sure that whatever prompts we are writing, whatever we are getting out of the AI, right, whatever code it is generating or any kind of output it is generating, we re-review it almost 5-10 times just to make sure that that's the perfect, and then go to the execution phase. I think that would what I could think the most important in our AI journey.
Absolutely. We've always had exceptional governance because of the types of clients we serve in public sector. This gives us more time actually up front to really do that governance before we ever even put code into a development environment. And it doesn't change anything about the level of rigor that we go through as we're going through testing, as we're going through security validation. So if anything, we're enhancing that because we're getting a second opinion, and we are, in fact, as practitioners, doing the same thing as we're doing. We're providing a second opinion of anything AI generates.
I think that's all I have for today. Thank you, Nate, for being the part of the MTX podcast. Thank you.
It's great to be here in Jaipur with you. And I think that's a wrap on this week's edition of Podcast MTX. Thanks.